Hello, how's it going all of you beautiful people around the world? My name is Ryan, aka Say It With Me, Blackbeard TCG. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day, and if not, hopefully I can make it a little bit better. Now look, as you guys see on the screen, as you guys have read in the title, tier list. As you guys know, I'm not a big fan of, why do I have D here? Hold on, let me delete that row. I'm not a big fan of tier lists in general. I've never really been a huge fan of it, but for whatever reason, you guys love seeing tier lists, and so I'm going to bring it to you guys. As usual, I do this for every single set. This tier list is not what I think is going to be top tier, what's going to be the best deck, because I literally have absolutely no clue, right? We haven't even seen the full reveal of all of the cards. We haven't seen the decks in action or anything like that. If you guys are new to this series, what this video is based on what we know about the leaders thus far, how excited I am to play these leaders. The higher on the tier list, the better, right? I'm not saying that these leaders are going to be amazing and this is what's going to shape the meta, no, but I'm just going to talk about my excitement and talk about the ones that I'm not quite as excited for as well. And as always, I'm super curious about your guys' thoughts in the comment section below as well, because this time around, we don't have that many leaders. We only have 6 new leaders here, a lot of them being multicolored, and so I'm very curious. In the comment section down below, let me know, just rank them, right? You could just list them in order from left to right, what leaders you are most excited for. So for the categories here, in the top tier, we have will play, looks very fun, 100%. Second, we have interesting enough to try. I think it'll be fun. I think I'll definitely try it out. The third one is has potential to be fun. I think it's mid. Like, I don't think it's anything special, anything that I'm chomping at the bit to get after. I think that would go in this category. And then not excited at all. LOL just means like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not super excited. I'm indifferent, right? Like, maybe I'll try, but like I'm not chomping at the bit. The other leaders I will definitely want to invest a lot more time in at this point. So with that being said, let's just go left to right. We have Sabo here. As you guys can see, I'll have the card and the effect on the screen as well. So just in case if you guys are unaware of Sabo, for me, I think Sabo has to go straight into the top. So he is a black-red leader. If you guys have been keeping up, as you guys know, I've been playing a lot more black leaders, right? You know, you guys know I've been picking up Lucci. I've been playing a lot more Smoker. Been dabbling in Rebecca as well. Rebecca looking really strong in OP-04. Not too sure if I'm going to commit to playing her because I'm still very, very keen on Queen. So, you know, I still got to stick with Queen. But black is really fun, and so mixing black and red, of course we have Garp from OP-02. However, I feel that Garp, unfortunately, has already been power crept by Sabo. I think that this Sabo is very, very strong. I think it's going to be very, very cool to try to build him with all the cool things that black has, but then all the revolutionary army stuff that we're already seeing in red, right? Because for me, I think that although Bello Betty, yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about her a little bit later, I think although Bello Betty has a ton of potential, and heck, maybe even a ton of meta-defining potential, I just look at Sabo and I feel like, okay, I feel like there's a world where he can just be the solid foundation. How do I word it? I kind of feel like it's the steady Eddie, you know what I mean? I feel like he could minimize the variance a little bit with having black, the stableness of black, having blockers that can't be destroyed by card effects and all of those beautiful things, and then still having access to the best color in the game, red, and then of course having all the new revolutionary army stuff that also looks very, very cool. So for me, I think that Sabo has the potential to be a great leader, but more importantly, I think that deck building for him is going to be extremely fun, right? Especially when you think about cards like Borsellino that can't be killed by card effects, but then you can go ahead and use your leader ability to keep him alive one extra time, because the only way he could be destroyed is by combat. And so if you use your Sabo ability to save your Borsellino, like there's just small interactions like that. There's a ton more as well. I feel that black and red, specifically with the Sabo ability, is just a perfect mix. And so for me, it's an absolutely no-brainer. I'm definitely going to be playing a bunch with this Sabo leader. So now let's talk about Bello Betty. So Bello Betty's interesting because a lot of people are quite keen on Bello Betty. A lot of people feel like she is going to be the next boogeyman, or boogie woman rather, or whatever you want to call it, my friends. You know, we've seen Red dominate, and Red has continued to dominate from the beginning of time. You know, from Super pre-release with Luffy, from Set 1 with Luffy, and, you know, a little bit of Baby Zoro, and then from Set 2 onward with the revamped Zoro, and now with the event Zoro and all those things. Obviously, we can't forget about Whitebeard as well. So, with that being said, I think Bello Betty will be really good. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of Yellow. I'm not a big Yellow enjoyer, and I know this sounds extremely contradictory, considering the fact that I'm such a big Queen fan. I know it sounds very funny, but I actually just like the blue aspect of Queen a lot more than the yellow. It just so happens that Queen is both. I really like the control playstyle, and because obviously with Katakuri as well as the Yamato, you can have a little bit of control aspect of that as well. So I really like that for Queen itself, but I'm not a fan of any of the other yellow leaders, right? I'm not a fan of Black Yellow Big Mom. I'm not a fan of Yellow Big Mom. I'm not a fan of Katakuri. That's just me personally. And so for me, Bello Betty, I'm personally going to put her in mid. I think that she's going to have a lot of potential, but if I look at the new leaders, I look at her, I look at Sabo, they both have red. Which one am I more excited for? Definitely it's Sabo. And then you'll see the other characters that I'm going to be putting in the tier above, and I'll explain why. And hopefully that will explain why I'm putting Bello Betty in mid. Again, I think that Bello Betty has a ton of potential to be a great deck. For me, looking at her, do I get excited to play the deck? I'm going to be honest with you guys, no. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a contrarian, right? Like, I don't find Zoro fun. I found Whitebeard fun in the beginning, but then once everybody hopped on the Whitebeard, I kind of got tired of it. I didn't want to play it. You know, maybe I'm one of those people that only want to play off meta, but I don't think so. I just like, I don't know, when certain things excite me, they excite me, right? And for me, Bello Betty, it's just not it for me. So it's going to be in mid tier. Now we have Enel. So it's funny, I just talked about how I'm not a big fan of Yellow, but even more so, just based off what we've seen, I'm putting Enel and LOL tier. Now, here's the funny thing. Again, this is a tier list based on how excited and how fun I think that these leaders will actually be to pilot for me. So everybody's list is going to be different. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this Enel ends up being like God tier or something like that. You know what I mean? I feel like this Enel could potentially kind of be like Nami, where it's a very good deck when it works, right? Like, as we all know, Nami is a very strong deck. It's a little bit, not necessarily like solitaire or like coin flippy, because it does take skill to pilot Nami, 100%. If anybody just tells you like, oh, her dare you just draw cards, like, they've clearly never played Nami at all. Because I spent some time just grinding only Nami games, for games and games, weeks at a time, right? Just Nami, trying to really just figure her out. And I feel like I'm pretty decent with Nami. And like, you know, there's a general game plan and all of those things, obviously with matches as there are with any deck. But I just feel like, I feel like she's capped in a certain way. And I almost feel like Enel will kind of work that way, where if people don't really know what they're doing, I feel like Enel will be able to prolong the game and be able to pop off in the way that he wants to, just based off the cards that we've seen. Obviously with the new SR that is going to be coming in OP-05 as well. I kind of feel like he falls in that category. Could I be completely wrong? Of course I can. I can't predict the future. I'm just going off of what I've seen thus far. And so for me, I played a ton of Nami. And yeah, Nami doesn't really excite me at all. That's where I was going with all of this. Nami doesn't really excite me all that much. I spent a lot of time playing it because she's a blue leader, and as you guys know, blue deck equals best deck for me, although black is rapidly starting to take that over. Maybe it's because I'm Blackbeard TCG. But in all seriousness, Enel's not doing anything for me. I'm not excited at all. If anything, I'm excited to see what our friends over in Asia cook up with him once we have all the cards and see how he performs. But on paper, his ability, the cards that we've seen thus far that have been leaked, the new SR, I mean, it's interesting. But for me, I'm just like, I'm not excited at all. Again, this is my opinion, and this has nothing to do on what I think he would be in the middle. Up next, we have Corazon. Now, interestingly enough, I gotta put Corazon in... You know what? Before I hit record on this video, Corazon was gonna go here. However, I'm gonna put it in, has potential to be fun. And I'll tell you guys why. He has blue. Yeah, he has blue. So that alone makes it have potential to be fun. Honestly, like the Doflamingo stuff, I feel like, especially with a lot of the new cards that are coming out and all that stuff, I feel like a lot of it helps out Blurple. I was gonna say Blurple Croc. Green and purple Doflamingo. I think that those cards kind of help that out more rather than Corazon. I could see it still working, but I don't really see how this deck wins games as of yet. Again, as the cards that have been revealed as of today. The whole thing about it being a blocker instead is really interesting, so that way you can continue to use your searchers and all of those things. But that means that your leader is going to be taking those hits, so you better have those counters, you better have those events ready, or else you're going to be taking those hits. You know, and then of course you can swing with him, restand him. I think that it's interesting, but then I look at other green leaders and I just wonder, why don't I just play those instead, right? That's just my view on it. I did have it here. I'll be completely transparent with all of y'all. I had it here before I started the video, and then I remembered that he has some blue. So it'll be interesting to see how people decide to cook him up with blue. And so he potentially has the ability to be fun. Maybe I should have had a tier right in between, and that's where he would have went. But just for the sake of this video, we'll slot him in right here. Okay, now we have Akainu. We have Takazuki. Now, of course he has blue, so you guys probably already know, okay, Ryan, you're gonna be biased. And of course he has black, and so you guys are gonna say, okay, Ryan, you're gonna be biased. And you know what I would say to that? I would say, god damn, you're right, because for him, he is the leader I am the most excited to play with in OP-05, point blank, period. Let's go. I think that this leader is going to be absolutely insane, because not only are my two favorite colors coming together, but I think that the synergies are just going to be absolutely amazing. Have you guys seen the new Rob Lucci? Have you guys seen the new Borsalino? I think that there's going to be a lot of really cool interactions that we can do with this leader ability, -1. We can go ahead and have our things hit a bunch more stuff, be it if you want to play Doflamingo, which you can, but I wouldn't with the new Borsalino that's going to be coming out. You could play things like your 9-drop Mihawk, and now your Mihawk can go ahead and hit things like Katakuri, right? Like, it just opens up, like, a lot of the problems with blue was that sometimes you just felt like you couldn't really hit those big impact cards, and now with Takazuki, you definitely can. And oh, did I forget to mention that every turn you can refresh one card in your hand? You know, you could be in a game state where you don't have any counters and you're like, alright, let me go ahead and drop this card without a counter, and you draw a card that does have a counter. How amazing would that feel? But then also on top of that, you can play things like Doflamingo, 3 cost, who allow you to stack your deck, and then you can go ahead and draw the card that you need in order for you to optimize your situations coming forward. I just think that this leader has an unbelievable amount of potential. Now, will it dominate the meta? I don't know, but I don't care, because this is the leader that I will be investing a majority of my time into in this set. By far, it is going to be blue, black Takazuki, followed by Sabo. Okay, last up, we have mono, purple, Luffy. As you guys know, I already have a deck list on my channel. I have some gameplay footage as well. Be it, although some of the new leaders, they never had quite all of their cards, you guys could still see the idea behind this Luffy. And for me, it easily goes into interesting enough to try. One of the reasons why is just because, for example, if we were to consider the purple starter deck a part of OP-05, I wouldn't, because it's more like OP-04.5, because as you can see, events that are going on in Japan right now is OP-04 along with the starter decks. So that's why I didn't include those leaders into this here. Although I do think that with the cards coming out in this set, it's going to make those leaders a lot better. And so should I put them on the list? I don't know. I kind of left it off because I wanted to keep it to the leaders in the set. But with that being said, red purple Luffy excites me a lot more. And so if I'm going off of that, I feel like red purple Luffy would have been up here right after Sabo, or maybe even right before Sabo, honestly. Yeah, maybe even that. But for pure purple Luffy, I think that he still has a ton of potential. I think the deck building is going to be super fun. And so because of that, I think that he slots in right here. So from left to right, let's go through it. We have blue, black Takazuki. We have red, black Sabo. We have purple Luffy. We have red, yellow Bello Betty. We have green, blue Corazon. And last but not least, we have Enel, yellow Enel. in the last place slot. With that being said, my friends, I am very curious. What do you guys think about my list? What are your thoughts? Well, tell me honestly, what do you think about my list? And more importantly, I want to see y'all's list, all right? I want to see y'all's list. I'm going to like every comment, every single comment that you guys post. I'm going to make sure I like it, and I will respond, and I will give you feedback on your list. Just like how you guys want to critique me and critique my list. All right, no problem. I'm going to critique your list. So go ahead and post it down in the comments below. I will catch you guys later. Peace.